Hello, welcome to another installment of Mobile Sec Mondays. In this video, we're going to solve CrackMe Challenge 5. So, let's get started. Where can we find the application? On the left, you will see there's the Intro to Android Security Virtual Machine. So if we click on the Home directory, Documents, there's a CrackMe APKs directory. Clicking that, we will see CrackMe Challenge 5.apk. Now, I will not show you how to install the application from our Intro to Android Security Virtual Machine to our Android x86 virtual machine because I have done that in a previous video. So if you need help with that, watch that video. I will say the way to do it is to use ADB or Android Debug Bridge. And then once you have the two virtual machines connected, then you can use the install command inside of ADB to install the app from the Intro to Android Security Virtual Machine to the Android x86 Virtual Machine. Again, that's in a separate video. Review that video if you need help. Now, I'm going to open the application. So I'm going to click on the circle with the 6 dots, and then I'm going to click on CrackMe 5. And as it says, recover the string and enter it into the box. So if we click, you see we have challenge, hint, and about. We're not going to click the hint yet. So if we go to the about, we see Android CrackMe challenge, apps to be reverse engineered. So that's our hint. We need to reverse engineer this app to find the string. So if we scroll, we see that the programmer is Roki. We see the licenses to actually use this app. So we're going to go back to challenge. So how do we reverse engineer an Android app? Well, we're going to use JADX GUI. And that's part of the Intro to Android Security Virtual Machine. This virtual machine has the common tools for Android hacking and just for Android hacking. So we're going to click on menu, reverse engineering. And I'm going to use JADX GUI because I like using the graphical user interface. But if you're a command line guru, you could use the CLI for command line interface. So I'm going to click. Now, we need to make sure we're in the CrackMe's directory, so we go root, home, Android, documents, and then the CrackMe APKs. And then we're going to click on CrackMe Challenge 5. We're going to double click. Now, we have effectively gone under the hood because this is showing us the source code. Well, when we open it, it will show us the source code of the application. So remember how I said that the app was developed by Roki, and that is here. So as you see, we have two packages because Android apps are written in Java. Also, lower level instructions could be written in C, but that's another video. So for the most part, it's written in Java. So we have two packages here, and we need to figure out which one we need to click. So we know that the programmer is Roki, so we're going to click on the second one, Roki CrackMe Challenge 5. So clicking on that, we now have activities and adapters, fragments, listeners, build, and C0129R for the resources. So for every Android app, there is a main activity. You can think of an activity as a screen on your app. So the main activity is the entryway into your application. So out of these different packages, we're going to click on the activity and we see a challenge activity. So double clicking on that, and I'm going to make this bigger. We now are looking at the Java code of this application. So now we need to reverse engineer because we need to recover the secret string. Looking at the code, it's like, wow, I see a lot. How do I get started? So if you look on lines 38 through 40, we see there's an action bar, and then we see the action bar is adding a new tab, and we see we're setting the text to challenge, hint, and about. And if you look in the app, you see challenge, hint, and about. So we know, okay, we're moving in the right direction. Now, when I reverse engineer apps and when I want to get the logic and figure out the logic of the app, I like looking for objects and classes. So one way to do that is looking for objects, newly created objects. And you know, objects are newly created because it will have the new keyword in front of it. So the letters that are in this blue here are keywords in Java. So we're going to click on the first object, this challenge page adapter. And clicking on that, we are in another class and more code. And if you look at lines 18 through 25, we see there's a get item method, and we have a switch statement with 3 different possibilities: a challenge 5 fragment, a hint, and an about fragment, which corresponds to challenge, hint, and about. We already clicked the about. It just gave us the programmer and the logistics of the app. We're not going to click on hint because we will only click on that if we can't solve the challenge. So let's click on the challenge 5 fragment. Okay, clicking on that, we see we need to recover the secret string. So on line 28, we see that there's a button and it says challenge 5 button check, which corresponds to this button. And it says set on click listener, and we have a new object, new challenge 5 fragment on click listener. So let's click that. Okay, now we're in a new class with more code. So now on line 30, it says, hey, this edit text guess, which corresponds to this text box right here. We're saying, hey, if the lowercase string, because whatever we type, it's going to convert to lowercase, if it equals to view.getResources of the string 8, then change the color to nebula, vibrate, and then display string challenge 5 win. So you may be wondering, okay, this get resources, where is that exactly? Where would I find that? Well, you see that there's a C0129R, and we have that here. So if we click that, it really doesn't help. I'm going to click this 8 here. It really doesn't help because the string is numbers. So you're like, okay, I know I have to enter a string, but this is just numbers. How is this going to help me? It's not right now. But if you look on the left-hand side, we do have a resources folder. So if we maximize that, the resources folder, let me explain, has everything outside of the application code. So it has a meta-inf, it has a res, which is another resource folder. It has the Android manifest.xml. The Android manifest you can think of as the skeleton of your Android app. every Android app will have an Android manifest. If you do not have an Android manifest.xml, your app will not work. You need to have this file. It is mandatory. You have a classes.dex and a resources.arsc. So if we maximize this resources.arsx, we see we have another res folder. So if we click that, we have a values. So then this is values in other languages. So we're going to click the first one. So now we have attributes, bools, colors, dimensions, drawables, animations, integers, menus, strings, styles. So we're looking for a string. So let's go to the strings.xml. From the strings.xml, we have string names. Let's see if we can find a name of 8. Scrolling down line 17, we found it. String 8 equals 8. So let's try entering 8 as the secret string. That was correct. You've completed challenge 5. You notice that the text changed from black to nebula. Now, going back to the fragment listener, we see here, once we get the string, which is 8, and it kind of gave us the answer here. It, on line 35, is saying, hey, display string challenge 5 win. So if we go back to strings, where is it? Okay, I'm going to click it again. If we go back to strings, let's see if we can have a challenge 5 win. Yep, line 33. You've completed challenge 5. So if we click this check here, you've completed challenge 5. So the strings.xml is very important because every word that you have in your application will be in this file. Because you notice here, if we go to the about and we scroll, Roki Lucas Thoracine, line 18, string about author, Roki Lucas Thoracine. You see we have a equal and then the ampersand GT, which is greater than. You see that here? Equal, greater than. So every word that you will have in your applications needs to correspond to a value in the strings.xml. If you do not have it in the strings.xml, your application will not be able to call it. So with this challenge, what the developer did, or what they tried to do, was I'm going to do security through obscurity. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to hard code the value 8 on line 31 of the challenge 5 fragment on click listener. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the strings.xml. And if you, person who's trying to hack my app and reverse engineer, if you don't know anything about the strings.xml file, you won't be able to get the value. But unfortunately for said developer, we do know about the strings.xml file, and we know that for every word that you have in your Android app, there needs to be a value in your strings.xml. And the developer was like, I'm going to put this C0129R class, and it's like, I'm going to throw you off because you're going to go to that class and all you're going to see are numbers. And you're going to be like, hey, I'm trying to look for a string here, but when I click on this C0129R class, all I see are numbers. And the developer is like, see, I've tricked you because you see numbers, and that's going to discourage you and make you quit. But as I said before, we know that even in the C0129R, there needs to be a word equivalent in the strings.xml file. So, again, just because you don't hard code values, and just because you add the secrets in the res or resources folder, when you decompile an app, which is essentially what we did when we used the JADX GUI, it decompiles everything, as you can see: animations, attributes, bools, colors, dimensions, drawables, integers, menus, strings, and styles. So it doesn't just, when we decompile an app, it doesn't just decompile the code, it decompiles everything associated with your application. So you can't be like, oh, I'm going to put the secret in strings.xml and you won't find it. Because when I decompile the app, I can see it. I can go to the strings.xml file. We just did it. I can go to the strings.xml, and if you have secrets in that file, I can read them and then exploit it. So if you have, for instance, a password in the strings.xml, you should never do this. This is an example. But let's just say you have a hidden box on this app, and it's not viewable to the user. But inside this hidden box, it's a password. And I enter the password, and in the app, there's logic that says, hey, check this password with the password in this hidden box. Well, the password in the hidden box, even though it's hidden from you to the user, there will still be an entry in the strings.xml. And if there's an entry, I can use it, and then I can get into your app. Again, you will never do this. I'm just using this as an example. So with this challenge, it just goes to show, when you decompile an app, it's just not the source code. It is everything associated with your app. So again, don't put, don't hard code values, don't have secrets in your strings.xml, don't have anything secret or confidential inside your app, because as you see, it is so easy to decompile. It is so easy to start reverse engineering an Android app. So I hope you have learned something in this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.